quicker than 139, then we gotta do something quick. And I don't still don't know we'll have it by the 30th.
What I have?
Um,
I will
yeah,
see.
well, he pushed, Russell's great.
Oh, yeah. I was just looking at Good evening, citizens of Louisburg Town Council, and welcome to our June Town Council meeting, Louisburg. And we'll begin by calling our roll.
Mayor Neal.
Here.
Here. Councilman Kingsley.
Here.
Councilwoman Baker. Councilman Roseby.
Okay, thank you. Item number 2, Councilwoman Wright, could we ask you to give our invocation this evening, please?
Most holy, everlasting to the God of our heavenly Father, once again we come to you thanking you for another day. Thank you, Lord, for the people that have come out to this meeting to be about the business of the town of Louisburg. Thank you for bringing us here safely, let us return home safely. Lord, just go with us, be with this meeting, let everything be done decently and in order. And these and other blessings I ask in your precious and holy name. Amen.
Amen. Okay, the next is the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Item number 4, the adoption of the agenda.
I'd like to make a motion to approve the agenda this.
I
Okay.
would like to amend it. Oh, sorry.
Okay.
After item 7, I would like to present a resolution for discussion and a possible vote on supporting the Oasis project.
Insert that in,
After the Oasis.
okay, that will be item 8, insertion of that. That's a resolution supporting and endorsing the Oasis project. We have a motion. Could I get a second? It's been moved and properly second that we amend the agenda for item 8 to include a resolution supporting the Oasis project. All in favor?
Aye.
All right. Also, I would like to make a motion to amend the agenda as well to insert a brief discussion about the Louisburg Promise. Insert that for item 10 before the administrative report. Can I get a second?
Second.
It's been moved and properly second that we insert for item 10 a discussion about the Louisburg Promise in the agenda. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, thank you. Now, could I get a motion to adopt the agenda with the amended changes?
So moved.
It's been moved and properly second that we adopt the agenda with the amended changes for item 8 and item 10. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Thank you. Item number 5, approval of the minutes for March 12th, 2026, which was our regular town hall meeting, as well as the minutes from our closed session. May 21st, 2026 was our budget session. May 28th, 2026 for our budget session, the second installment of that, and June 4th, the third installment of the budget session. All of these sessions were held at the community station on North Main Street, and of course, the citizens is involved as well. They are invited.
I'd like to clarify a couple things on the minutes from last regular meeting on the 2 motions that I made. First is the motion to send a letter to the Corps of Engineers. That was clarified, but I do think that we should add a copy of that letter to the minutes, since we specifically voted on the verbiage that I presented. So I would just recommend or request that we amend or not amend, but add the letter as an addendum to the minutes. And then the second motion, I think there was some confusion about what I proposed and what we voted for, and that was that we reach out to the county and ask that we begin discussions on how we can meet the future water needs of both the county and the town, and how we might work together to meet those needs. And I would suggest, this doesn't have to do with minutes, that we send a copy of the letter to the Corps of Engineers to the county manager as a way to stimulate that meeting.
Okay, we have copies of the letter that we sent out to the Corps of Engineers, and copies to be added. We are doing that. And also,
Other than that, with those, I guess, clarifications, I move that we approve the minutes.
okay. Okay, could I get a second? It's been moved and properly second that we approve the minutes of the budget session, but the May 12th regular meeting minutes to include a copy of the letter that was sent to the Corps of Engineers to be included with the minutes, as well as a clarification on the reaching out to the county as well. Okay, so all in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Okay, ayes have it. Okay, item number 6 is public comments. And ladies and gentlemen, we request that you when you come up before the council, hold your comments to 3 minutes. Now, last month, I allowed a citizen to go over that. That was a mistake, because it can set a precedent of others coming in wanting to extend it past the 3 minutes. If you have comments that goes past 3 minutes, you have two options you can do. You can come to the town office, meet with staff and council to share the rest of your concerns. Or you can wait to the next council meeting and request to be put on the agenda. In doing so, that's when you're not obligated for your 3 minutes. You would then have up to 10 minutes to present your case. So tonight, as you come up, we request that you hold your comments to 3 minutes, and you will be timed on that. Okay. I see that our first one is a Mr. Ray Staff.
Good evening, Mr. Mayor and members of the council. My name is Ray Staff. I live at 405 Sunset Avenue. I'm standing here tonight because the fiscal year 2026-2027 draft budget, as presented, contains significant structural challenges that warrant a closer look to protect our town and our taxpayers. As our elected leaders, adopting this budget means accepting full responsibility for these underlying numbers, and I want to highlight 3 specific areas of concern. First, we are operating without a clear baseline. This proposal does not include current year to date actual expenditures for the 25-26 fiscal year. It is incredibly difficult to responsibly project next year's spending needs without a transparent look at what is actually being spent right now. I've advocated multiple times before this council for the implementation of a modern municipal enterprise software. Tonight's presentation illustrates exactly why those tools are so vital. If we had integrated those systems at the start of the fiscal year, this council would have accurate real-time expenditure tracking sitting in front of you tonight. While those numbers might require final adjustments once our audits are complete, you would at least have reliable operational baseline for the year. Without these modern tools, the council is being asked to make major financial decisions with incomplete information. Second, this budget relies heavily on an enterprise fund transfer. Moving revenue out of our utility funds like water, sewer, and electric to balance the general fund creates an unsustainable precedent. Excuse me. While these transfers are being used to offset operational shortfalls, the actual capital outlays and maintenance requests from those very same utility departments have been significantly reduced or deferred. Our enterprise departments require healthy reserves for infrastructure upkeep. Relying on these transfers creates a deferred maintenance backlog, an unfunded liability that future boards and taxpayers will eventually have to pay with interest. Third, there's a reliance on static carryover projection. A review of the line items across multiple departments indicates that many numbers have simply been rolled over from prior years without factoring in current economic realities. Even a baseline inflation adjustment has been omitted from most line items. For example, standard fuel costs have been rapidly rising, yet the budget relies on stagnant projections that do not reflect today's market prices. To the members of the council, the July 1st statutory deadline is approaching quickly, but you have options. Under North Carolina General Statute 159-16, you have the absolute legal authority to defer this proposal and pass an interim budget. This action keeps our town running normally, protects the employee's payroll, while buying you the necessary time, whether it's 60 days, 6 months. Thank you.
Trinity Mack.
Hi, my name is Trinity Mack. I reside at 604 Kenmore Avenue. I am in the process of starting a nonprofit foundation called Roots to Resilience. The reason why I am very passionate about the organization is because of what I come from, how I grew up. I am a survivor. I grew up through foster care, and as we all know, that demographic of people, it's very hard for them to graduate high school, get a job and stay in the workforce. They struggle with addiction, keeping a job, different categories like that. The reason why I wanted to start the foundation is because I want to start a training program where kids that are about to age out of the system have a place to go where they are able to learn a trade in culinary, nutrition, or also in plumbing, electrical, housekeeping. And with that, my past employer, I worked in the Arctic on the North Slope. I was the project culinary manager for the Willow Project, which is the largest oil project currently in the world, especially with current events that are happening. My job was I would place different people based on their talents in those different categories, whether they were culinary, electrical, housekeeping, etc., and would place them in one of the 30 facilities that were on the North Slope. Because of the connections that I have with ConocoPhillips, Ice Services, and the Kupik organization, I am able to combine my nonprofit organization through Alaska State. I have possible funding through the Alaska State Treasurer, where I can go through a program called Alaska Step, which is a trade program where if I am sponsored by a company that is in Alaska, which would be iServices, Kupik, and ConocoPhillips, I can do something through a town such as Louisburg, where I'm able to take these kids that are about to age out of the system, put them into a great workforce where they make a high living wage. It's seasonal work. They would be able to live in a safe environment, a roof over their head, have Insta family through their work environment, able to save up a large sum of money through seasonal work. And the goal would ultimately be to bring them back to Louisburg and have them invest the money that they've made either in a business or purchasing a home. I hope that resonated with you. And
Thank you. All right. Item number 7, the FCIC Oasis Project. Ms. Kegley.
Good evening, Town Council and citizens of Louisburg. Do I need to do my name and all that?
Yes.
Okay. My name is Beverly Kegley, and I live at 120 Jolly Street, Louisburg, or at 113 Jolly Street, which is my office. You can use either address. I have brought with me a couple of members of the Oasis Project Committee. We have a committee of 6 people. This is a project we've been working on for quite a few months. We've been doing a pilot program since February that is increasing. And so I'm going to introduce you to Reverend Chris Fair and Carlos Geyer. Because this project is growing, we have decided that we would divide the speaking time. And I know y'all get tired of hearing from me, so we're going to let you hear from somebody else. But I do want you to know, we spoke with the county department heads this morning, and we have 11 department heads signed into this program. So with that, I will introduce you to the Reverend Chris Fair and Carlos Geyer. I will sit down and let them talk to you.
Mayor, council members, what we're proposing is trying to find a way to do the best with the monies we have to serve the people in the community we live in. And the name Oasis Project comes from, you're familiar with food desert concept that they often talk about in urban areas. Well, we have service deserts here. You get outside the city limits of Franklinton, Lewisburg, and Youngsville, it gets rural real fast. Things like Department of Social Services contacts, the ability to get food, the ability to get internet service, the ability to get library service, just medical service, just really basic things that are becoming not only harder to get in town, but even worse out of town. And so what we're looking is a way to put an umbrella over that, look at what the services are available in both the faith-based communities, civic communities, and the government communities. And instead of duplicating things, find the people who do the best job and enable them to do a better job, work together and coordinate, provide a coordination so that, for example, we work with 11 food pantries. We are able to bring in food, which we do about every other week from Celebration Church. We're aligned with them. We bring that here and then divide it out among those food pantries so that they don't have to go get it. We bring it here, we distribute it out. It makes it much cleaner and more efficient. And we're looking at other assets such as medical buses. We have a bus that does a portable, essentially food pantry. And what we're looking at is setting up oases, if you will, in the service using existing facilities wherever possible. And that's often quite the case. Perry School, Allen's Chapel Church, and the Cowboy Church have been 3 of what we are calling our pilot programs. We have 2 more that we're looking at. One would be at Trinity, just north of town here, and the other would be closer to North because those are the areas through our demographics are the area where we find existing holes in the network, if you will. And so I'm going to let Bobby do some more talking here.
All right. Well, I'd like to start out with the most popular statement based on our our previous presentations, we're not asking you for any money. Nothing, all right? We're trying to take existing programs and make them function more effectively. We have lots and lots of things going on out here. We have lots of duplication, and we're trying to not possibly completely eliminate it, but minimize duplication of services to better serve the citizens of this county. This is something that we're trying to really, really submit so that we can pass it on to others and share this, not our resources, but what we've learned through trial and error, as many people do. We know what works, we know what definitely doesn't work. And just to eliminate these service deserts. And literally, this is just something we presented to our representatives at the state level. And they're kind of excited about it too, because again, we weren't asking them for money. And we do have grant writer in our midst, and we have received a few, not paltry, but smallish grants. And the further this goes, I think we'll see that the grants will get more substantial based on our successes. Everybody got a packet. I'm not going to insult your intelligence. I'm reasonably certain everyone can read through these at your leisure. Really what we wanted to highlight is our desire to create this tapestry, to weave all these programs and all these services and all these volunteers together to effectively eliminate a lot of the need that we see and we continue to see. You know, in the past, in the distant past, none of this was necessary because our communities supported themselves either through the faith-based or just simply the good neighbors. And many of the people that live in these areas now, their ancestors, their family, supported themselves through farms. You know, they didn't know what they didn't have. They knew they had what they needed to survive, or else we wouldn't be here, some of us anyway. Ideally, this is a public-private meshing of the resources, because there's people out there that want to do good, but they don't necessarily want to put their hands on cases after cases after cases of dry goods and, you know, pallets of food, but they will write a check. And that is as helpful as anything, as long as those funds are placed in capable, knowledgeable hands. Now, some of the stuff, you know, you think about, we're saying this is a desert. A lot of these people are, obviously we're not in a desert. We're in a drought situation possibly, but not a desert. But most of our problems, or a good many of the problems, are people are limited with transportation assets. You know, they're eligible for services that are here in town, if only they could get from the distances they are. I live in Bunn, a short little jaunt, 13 miles. It's a whale of a walk. If you don't have a vehicle, that means you have to pay somebody because there's no bus, there's no light rail, nothing's going to help you get in here other than maybe your riding lawnmower. And that's not a viable solution. So what we want to do is create these hubs in the community. The Cowboy Chapel, I don't know if anybody even knows, but it's at what they call the 5 Points area. And Highway 98, and I don't know the other, there's a Harris's Road. But anyway, there's 5 little roads that intersect there, and they call it 5. Once we can establish and build out these hubs, that decreases the distance that these people are coming in. and we can shorten our distance to actually visit the home sites. And we've identified 11, 13 areas of need, but you got to start somewhere. So now we're at 3. We're really pushing hard toward getting up to the 5th, getting that hub up and running. And so far, it's been wildly accepted and embraced. Now, the service areas, let's see, for hunger and food security, taking care of that with food pantry, the mobile food, local produce, which is one of our grants, is actually specifically giving this Interfaith Council money to buy local produce from the local farmers. So it's more expensive, believe it or not. However, it produces a greater demand for their product and supports the local farming community, and it provides the nourishment for the people that we're serving. So it's a win, 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 win. And again, the money didn't come from Louisburg, it didn't come from the federal government. It's a grant because people see that we're doing good stuff. And when you write these grants, you show them what your plan is and how you plan to implement it. And there's people that evaluate that and they said, seems like you're on track here. And they wrote the check. And that's working very well, I believe. The health and wellness, we have, and the way we're doing that is when these people come in for the food pantry, we're just doing brief surveys. We're not taking their social security numbers. We're doing anything. It's basically a needs. What do you need? Because that, by and large, has been determined. The best way to determine what people need is by actually asking them what they need. And many of these people, believe it or not, have not seen a dentist possibly in their lifetime. And that's one of the fingers of this extension at these hubs is for us to, we're online with a current provider to extend not only just exams, but minor general dental procedures. And it's not online yet, but it's rapidly approaching. The workforce and opportunity, job referrals, training navigation, workforce readiness, and community volunteers, that all goes hand in hand. This is all just, some of these things are endemic to what we're doing. It's just a natural flow of the information and the utility of it. Education and learning, mobile library, digital access, youth and adult education, resource navigation, right coordination and connection, appointments and mobile services. I haven't quite built that out yet. Housing referrals, disaster response, warming, cooling, public officials, and agency navigations, or community resources. And like Ms. Kegley said earlier, we met with the county managers today, and I mean, everyone seems pretty down with this, and it's working. And ideally, we'd like to get some more volunteers and participants that are not well into their Social Security withdrawing phase of their life. Because as much as they care and as much as they're dedicated to it, their length of service is much shorter than bringing in some other excited community members who would also like to serve. Let's see, we covered Reverend covered the pilot hubs. And again, I'm not going to insult your intelligence with reading all this stuff to you, but the hub agreements, one of the things we have is a memorandum of understanding to get these individuals to commit at these hubs to actually continuing with the service. And well, every other Tuesday doesn't work for me, maybe one Tuesday. It needs to be something that's ongoing that the community can rely upon. And, we're not taking anybody's blood oath or anything. We're just trying to ensure that if we're putting forth the effort, that it's reciprocal. And thus far, the pilot sites have been dream-worthy. So hopefully it continues to unfold that way going forward. Let's see.
And just a quick one. You asked, why are we here? Well, from a purely empirical standpoint, the bigger you are, the better job you do, the better you are at getting grants and support. And there's companies out there and agencies out there who we are already talking with, some of them and others, who are looking for things to do in the community. You can say, we're working with the city of Louisburg, we're working with the city of Franklin, we're working with the city of Youngsville, we're working with the Chamber of Commerce of Franklin County. It's nice to be able to present that and say, we're not asking you cold. We've got other organizations that find value in what we're doing, and that you can contribute to that. As a pastor of the United Methodist Church, I'm a rural Duke endowment eligible church. And the nice part about that is each year, right now, projected for the next 5 years, they're going to have $18 million for rural United Methodist churches. It does not restrict us to how we spend it, so we can give it to other organizations who can use that. But it opens that grant door, and we're working with the Episcopal Church, we're working with the Presbyterian Church, we're working with the Catholic Church. And one of the nice things about being the Interfaith Council is we have lots of fingers in lots of faith communities. And it's the same with civic and governmental agencies. The idea is that we provide a way for the money to come in and then get it to the people who do the best job.
And believe it or not, Louisburg is not rural. We're apparently almost metropolitan. So we have grown out of our eligibility for the Duke endowment. So congratulations, I guess. So fortunately, and if anyone is of the Methodist persuasion, or would just like to see a very, very pleasant, older historic church, Trinity Chapel, it's, what's your address?
4272 401 North.
I'm telling you,
Just up beyond Ingleside.
it's something. It truly is. You would not in a million years imagine that exists. And I want to believe that their census or their congregation on Sunday on average is between 15 and 30. And they got a lot of seating. So you don't have to show up super early to get a seat. And this guy can talk. He really can. You enjoy it. I'm not pushing any particular faith. We are the Interfaith Council. We do not discriminate. We embrace all faiths, and we all come to a realization that no matter how we address we all agree that he or she would want us to reach out and help his creations when they're needed. And, there's the old line, if you have more than you need, you just need to set more places at the table. And that's really, I think, about the best I can sum it up is we're trying to really stretch this table out and make sure that that people have all their needs met, spiritually, nutritionally, medically, and just don't want to feel abandoned or left alone in the desert. Any questions from you?
If I may, the one question that you possibly didn't answer is, who do we contact to get involved? If the citizens want to be involved, if we as a council individually want to be involved, whom do we contact? Yeah, great. That's the one place I didn't turn, so thank you for that.
Thank you.
So if anybody needs that, I've got it on the back of the form.
And you feel free to reach out because I think I'm not the youngest chicken in the coop anymore either. However, And I've been told that it's harder to get the 40 and 50-year-old demographic involved because they're already involved. They're taking care of their kids. They got 1 or 2 jobs. Their time is kind of spoken for. But really, any amount of time that you can volunteer, an hour, you know, helping unload food, you know, just being available. There are tons of things that we can use small little volunteer hours to the greatest effect. You know, you don't have to volunteer your month, your weeks, or anything away. And just, you know, we're begging for your support and your acknowledgement. And again, not your money, right? We're not rolling in cash, but we're operating reasonably well, and we hope to expand. And like Chris said, you know, the greater footprint we have, the greater presence we have, the more sunlight that falls upon our organization, the easier it is to get the dollars into funding. You know, and it's money well spent, and we always say thank you and please, and we're grateful for every individual and every dollar that comes our way to help serve our mission. Any other questions?
Thank you.
Thank you for having us, and please consider endorsing or signing on your letter of support, because it really is crucial at this point in our growth. Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right. Item number 8, this is a resolution. Dr. Stover?
I need to first disclose that I am on this committee. So the vote on this resolution I will abstain from, but I would like to present this resolution in support of the Oasis project. I'd also like to point out that we're not ready yet, but we are looking also at the south side of Louisburg as a possible hub, and working with the Louisburg Methodist Church and some of the projects that's involved with that is still in the planning stages. But I'd like to read this resolution and then offer it for a vote. Okay, resolution of the town of Louisburg supporting and endorsing the Oasis project of Franklin County Interfaith Council. Whereas the town of Louisburg is committed to promoting health, safety, welfare, and quality of life of its residents. And whereas the Franklin County Interfaith Council has developed the Oasis project to address critical community needs through collaborative services, resources, programs that support individuals and families in Franklin County. And whereas the Oasis project seeks to bring together faith-based organizations, community partners, nonprofit organizations, government agencies, citizens to provide assistance, hope, stability, and opportunities for those in need. And whereas the town of Louisburg recognizes the value of community partnerships that strengthen neighborhoods, encourage self-sufficiency, reduce barriers to service, and improve the overall well-being of residents. And whereas the Oasis project is intended to serve as a resource hub and collaborative initiative designed to foster compassion, support, positive community development throughout Louisburg and Franklin County. And whereas the town of Louisburg finds that the goals and objectives of the Oasis project are consistent with the town's commitment to enhancing the quality of life for all citizens and promoting community engagement and cooperation. Now therefore be it resolved by the Town Council of the Town of Louisburg, North Carolina as follows. The Town Council hereby expresses its support for the Oasis project of the Franklin County Interfaith Council and recognizes the project's potential to positively impact citizens of Louisburg and Franklin County. The Town Council endorses the mission and objectives of the Oasis project and encourages collaboration among public, private, nonprofit, and faith-based organizations to further its success. The Town Council welcomes the opportunity to cooperate with the Franklin County Interfaith Council, consistent with applicable laws, policies, and available resources in advancing the goals of the Oasis project. The town council encourages residents, citizens, civic organizations, and community stakeholders to support and participate in the Oasis project as appropriate. This resolution will serve as official expression of the town council of Louisburg's support for the Oasis project and its efforts to strengthen the community and improve the lives of those it serves.
All right, any questions for Councilman Stover from the council? If not, could we entertain a motion for adopting this resolution?
I make a motion, we adopt this resolution, the Oasis project, for the town.
Okay. In a second. Because it's moved and properly second that the council of Louisburg adopt a resolution for the Oasis project for the Franklin County Interfaith Council. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. All opposed? Ayes have it. So, okay. All right. Item number 9, the Tar River Regional Hazard Mitigation Plan. Mr. Satterwhite.
Thank you, Mayor, members of council. Tonight, staff has been addressed by the North Carolina Department of Emergency Management to update and adopt our Tar River Regional Hazard Mitigation Plan. The Regional Mitigation Plan encompasses 4 counties: Franklin, Warren, Vance, and Granville. And the State Department of Emergency Management requires all the local municipalities to update and adopt the regional hazard mitigation plan every 5 or so years for natural disasters, hazards, things that could impact our town. I've prepared a brief presentation here. What this plan is: FEMA, the Federal Emergency Management Agency, required regional hazard mitigation plans. This covers the Tar River Basin jurisdictions, again, those 4 counties. It identifies hazards, vulnerabilities, and mitigation strategies. It's required every 5 years for FEMA funding. So this is important because if a disaster ever happens here in Louisburg, we cannot apply for federal funding without adopting this plan. Again, the participating jurisdictions, each of the counties: in Franklin County, the town of Bunn, the town of Franklinton, the town of Louisburg, and the town of Youngsville all participate. The plan purpose is to reduce long-term risk to life and property, identify the region's most significant hazards, prioritize mitigation projects, support resilient development, and it maintains eligibility for the Hazard Mitigation Grant Program, the Building Resilient Infrastructure and Communities grant funding, FEMA public assistance, and state disaster recovery funds. So it maintains our eligibility for all those 4 pools of money that the state and or federal government does offer for disasters. The hazard mitigation plan review process is plan adoption, public outreach, risk assessment, capability assessments, mitigation strategies, plan maintenance, and again, it's a recurring cycle. We are now at plan adoption. The state creates these plans, gives them to the municipalities. They have already analyzed the plan and made sure that it is updated in accordance with federal law as well as state law. So all we have to do is adopt it. Louisburg has attended meetings in the past when the plan maintenance and mitigation strategy were being reviewed by the state. We have updated mitigation actions, and we need a capability assessment update. However, that is an ongoing effort, and the state realizes that. Hazards profiled in the plan: flooding, riverine and flash flooding, hurricanes and tropical storms, severe thunderstorms, hailstorms, ice storms, tornadoes, winter storms, extreme heat and drought, wildfire, dam and levee failure, hazardous materials incidents, and then results from the virtual survey of September 25th, 2025. I thought it was a fun fact. What hazard event has had the biggest impact on the county jurisdiction? Flood was 22%, Strong wind was 33%, other was 44%. You would think that flooding would be the #1 cause of these hazards, but the data shows that other hazards and other events actually happen more in our area. So this encompasses all those hazards profiled in the plan and responses to all of them. Regional risk characteristics. Tar River floodplain impacts multiple jurisdictions, aging stormwater infrastructure in towns, critical facilities located in hazard-prone areas, manufactured housing vulnerability, transportation corridors exposed to wind and storm events, and then increasing frequency of severe weather events. As we all know, weather events are becoming a little bit more severe. Even the heat is a little bit more severe. So again, these are regional risk characteristics, are characteristics to the Tar River Basin, and we need to respond to them by updating and adopting the plan. Vulnerability assessment highlights. The plan evaluates population vulnerability, age, income, access needs, all types of social data, housing stock and building types, critical facilities, including public safety, utilities, and schools, repetitive loss properties, those properties that are near those high hazard events and continue to experience losses, infrastructure systems such as roads, bridges, water, sewer, and then environmental assessments such as wetlands and floodplains. So the plan evaluates the vulnerability of all these different categories. Mitigation categories from the plan are prevention, planning and zoning with prevention, building codes and regulations all go into prevention, property protection, acquisition if need be, relocation of some of those dwellings, buildings, or infrastructure, insurance to protect, natural resource protection in the floodplain, the watershed, and then erosion and sediment controls that are instituted by municipalities, structural projects, reservoirs, dams, and diversions, emergency services such as warning systems, generators, emergency response training from our fire, police, and other services, public awareness and education, outreach, hazard maps, and school educational programs. So these are the ways that the state has identified as mitigation for these hazards. Clicker's not clicking. Oh, there we go. Mitigation action. Continue to monitor the types and numbers of structures that may be located in known hazard areas, which the town does currently. Calculate aggregate projected dollar losses for each type of hazard risk. That is an ongoing effort. Produce a report on ways in which hazard mitigation goals and tasks can be incorporated into existing policies. Consideration of adoption or refinement of a capital improvements plan. Work with NCDOT Division 5, which encompasses Louisburg, and convene a working group to develop solutions and localize drainage issues, which we would do with the county in accordance with DOT as well. Apply for funding from the Hazard Mitigation Grant Program for mitigation-related projects. And then the last mitigation action would be to create an outreach website for the public designed to display risk information development. Of the 6 categories here, Louisburg has been a continuing effort for the first 5. The last one, creating an outreach website, was deferred by the town in the past update of the hazard mitigation plan due to funding shortages that we had here with the town. Again, that is an ongoing effort, and the town is reconsidering creating that outreach website for the public. Maybe as an addition to our existing website, we might have a button as a link that goes to a separate page to display that risk information. Encourage builders, developers to become familiar with the National Flood Insurance Land Use and Building Standards by attending annual workshops presented by North Carolina Emergency Management. Distribute copies of the Department of Emergency Management's announcements to inspections for builders and developers. Ensure that the local library maintains documents about flood insurance protection, floodplain management. Provide local real estate agents with handouts that will advise potential buyers to investigate the flood hazard areas before buying their homes. Implement public education efforts designed to help inform the public of their exposure to these natural hazards and to inform them of actions to mitigate. What adoption means for Louisburg: it does not obligate the town to any specific project. It does not require us to spend any money. It preserves eligibility for FEMA mitigation funding, as I said in the beginning. It supports capital planning and infrastructure upgrades if those are ever needed, and we apply for grants. Us having an updated hazard mitigation plan will make us more eligible for that grant funding. It strengthens resilience and emergency preparedness in the town and the region, and ensures compliance with state and federal requirements. That is the end of the presentation, and staff recommends adoption of the resolution of the Tar River Regional Hazard Mitigation Plan. Does the council have any questions at this time?
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
One of the things that caught my eye when I was going through it is, I can't find it right now. It's such a small thing.
700 pages is a big book.
Something called, I think it was a DUO, where you had communities have combined their zoning and their subdivision ordinances and some other things all into one comprehensive ordinance. And we were one of the, I think, 5 communities that have not done that. Is that something we should be looking at to do?
That would be a DUO, Development Unified Ordinance. Yes. Honestly, the format that we have now, it works well because we have the code of ordinances, and then we have the zoning ordinance, which encompasses the subdivision ordinances as well. So them being separate, the code of ordinances acts as the laws for the town, so to speak, but the zoning ordinance acts as rules for development. I think that format right now is working for us right now. But in the future, maybe we might think of
So
combining.
we're covering it in a different way.
Correct, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Okay. Any other questions from the council? If not, could we get a motion to approve this this regional mitigation plan? It's been moved and properly second that that we adapt the new Tar River Regional Hazard Mitigation Plan. All in favor? All opposed? Ayes have it. Mhm. Okay. Next is item 10, the Louisburg Promise. Let me say, ladies and gentlemen, this is the second installment that we're bringing to you as it relates to the Louisburg Promise. The last time we taught, we did not have the website up. So we now have a landing page in which you, the citizens, can tune into. This is where you had asked and showed concerns on how you can get involved. The landing page, as you pull that up on the Louisburg website, it has different little buttons that you could push to bring up various forms, answer various questions that you may have, and in particularly have various committees as well on how you can get involved with this. And it's about bringing the economic development policies that we have adopted through our economic development plan, the committee there. Also, what's pending with that economic development committee is that we have established a charter for it. That charter will be a permanent charter for this committee because this is, in fact, will be a permanent committee, the Economic Development Plan. It is presently in our attorney's office for his final approval on the charter itself. So now I'll turn it over to Mr. Pius on that.
Well, good evening, Mayor Neal, members of the council, town staff, and the members of our the illustrious town of Louisburg. Thank you for the opportunity to come before you this evening and sharing with you the exciting news about the Louisburg Promise. if we could we pull that up right quick, the actual, page before we get to this? This, ladies and gentlemen, is actually on the town's website. It's a link on the town's website. You click that link and it takes you directly to the Louisburg Promise. Now, I think last time we met and we presented what the promise was about, and I won't go through this again. But it starts out with the video. As you scroll down, it actually tells you what the Louisburg Promise is all about. It talks about the 4 pillars: economic vitality, community safety, infrastructure, education, and community. Current priorities. It will take you to the dashboard, and we'll talk about that dashboard in more detail a little bit later on. But here, if you could just stop for a second, James. This is really, really the crux of the Louisburg Promise. What the promise and what this link actually does, it takes it from a situation where you just have some information on a website, but it allows residents to really actually be participatory. Okay? And the way this landing page was structured, it was structured in such a way that it adheres to the International Association for Public Participation, which is the gold standard when it comes to providing information, input for citizens to share in the government policy process. And what's even more important is that it holds our elected officials accountable. Okay, so transparency and accountability are very much a part of what this is all about. So, for example, residents.
Excuse me, Mr. Pius, could I ask you just to move your podium just a little bit more to the,
Sure.
to the right there so some of the citizens
I'm sorry.
can see?
Yeah, so for example, the residents will have an opportunity to participate in a survey. So through the survey, and I think I heard something about this earlier this evening, it's not complicated. It's not crafted in such a way that it will take folks into the weeds, but it will allow you to provide input. For example, James, if you could just click that, take the survey right quick. Here's what we're asking: your name, your email address, your neighborhood or area. What topics do you find most important, be it budget, be it transportation, whatever it is, you're able to put it there. And then you will be asked to address what are some of your concerns and what needs need to be met. And then what would you like the town to focus on over the next 12 months? Okay, now that information is then submitted, and it won't go into a black hole. It goes to a designated individual within the town, and that information will then be compiled. It will be processed, and at at scheduled intervals, then if reports then would be made to the town council, the town administrator, the mayor, and actions could then be taken. So again, this is so you have the survey. We also have the different committees that townsfolk are being asked to participate in. There will be a community advisory committee. You could apply for the economic development committee. That's a very important one, folks. And as well as if you want to volunteer to work within the township, then you'll be able to do that. So these are just, I'm just trying to give you a broad brush stroke of what's here. I certainly encourage everyone here, tell your friends about it, and find out a little bit more about what's actually here. And as you scroll, if you could just scroll up, James, for me, please. Here you have the actual downloads. You have, you could do an overview. You can actually download the community engagement toolkit that actually provides you with practical, tried, and proven ways in which you could be actually more participatory. So you have committee participation toolkits and something again that I believe is very important, and it's something that the mayor has shared with me on a number of occasions, near and dear to his heart, is youth participation and getting our youth more involved in our town. And I truly feel that that's vital for where the town is headed. So that's a brief overview of what you will find on this Louisburg landing page and how you could become better engaged, better informed, and again, more participatory in what actually happens in the town. Now, James, you can go to the slide for me, please. Or do I have access to that? Thank you. Pardon me?
He's the remote.
Yeah.
Okay, here? Yeah, okay, thank you. Now, an important piece in all of this, right? Okay, we know it's here. We have citizens who are here this evening and you've heard about it. But they, based on the last ACS statistics, there are about 3,500 or so residents just within the town of Louisburg, right? So obviously we don't have that kind of participation tonight. What is important at this point is to the ability for us to actually market and advertise and get the word out that it's there. We want to be able to drive folks to this landing page and get the kind of participation that's necessary. Now, it's going to be important for a number of reasons. All right. Not only will it help in terms of governance, but it's also going to be important in our grant writing efforts. Okay? Because what many funders are now looking for is not necessarily what they're being told that the town or any municipality or any entity wants to do, they want to make sure that there is that the community is really behind this. Okay, so through this landing page, not only will we be able to provide anecdotal information about what's necessary and what's needed based on the needs assessment, but we will also be able to provide those funders with empirical data. Okay, and that's really important when we submit our proposals, when we submit our grant application. If we have that kind of information that shows them that this is not only what the mayor says, this is not only what the town council says, but this is what the people are actually saying. And that weighs extremely heavily when the funder is making decisions as to whether or not they're actually going to give town the money. Okay, so we have actually worked out a way in which this will happen. So on the left, you have the comprehensive economic development plan. Now, the economic development plan is actually a subset of the Louisburg Promise. It takes the broader governance directive that we have, and we have sort of fine-tuned it, and so to speak, into these 7 different pillars. And this was done more so in terms of being able to focus more on those areas that funders would be most interested in. I'd also like to add that one of the important pieces of this is that in the marketing and advertising and engagement piece, most, if not all of this, will be done utilizing either free tools that we currently have, or those that will be of minimal cost. So, for example, we have Canva, free, Google Workplace, free, MailChimp, free. All of these are free tools that will be used, again, to get the word out. Secondly, we'll also prioritize established, trusted networks, such as the Franklin Times, local radio, and faith communities. Okay, so it becomes a symbiotic sort of a situation where we're able to information share. You already have the network, and so our being able to utilize each other in that respect makes for a great marriage, I believe. Again, accessibility. We made sure that the landing page was built around standards that is truly recognized and adopted, as well as absolute public accountability driven by transparency and the monthly metrics dashboard. Now, from the dashboard, the residents will be able to see in real time exactly what accomplishments have been made based on your input, based on your surveys, based on your concerns. And so that's going to be very important. Now, audience obviously will be the general residents. We'll use various channels, Facebook. We've actually developed an insert, for example. Most residents here receive a utility bill, right? So these inserts would be placed in those utility bills to learn a little bit about the Louisburg Promise, how they can become involved. They will actually be provided with on those QR codes. So when they go to those inserts and they actually see this insert, all they have to do, many people have a smartphone, put it on the camera, look at the QR code, and it goes directly to the website. We also would like to get our business owners through foot traffic, permitting process, Chamber of Commerce, LinkedIn, senior citizens. I had the occasion to visit the Franklin County Senior Citizens building a few days ago, and it was overwhelmingly popular. There were a lot of people there. So again, being able to get the word out, being able to meet people where they are, basically. The Boys and Girls Club, and again, faith-based organizations, faith groups. So the engagement ladder, is to share the information via the website, print, radio, consult, capture input is what happens after you provide it through the targeted survey and comment form. Get involved. There are a number of as you saw earlier, there will be a youth community initiative. There is the Economic Development Committee, as well as the Advisory Committee. Collaborate. Again, communicating with our residents, attending those meetings, participating in those meetings, and then last, to empower with the town being able to actually act on those on the feed and provide feedback, and again publish the monthly public dashboard. And again, this just gives you an idea of what you actually saw earlier. And these are the various channels. As I mentioned, the utility bill insert, town hall displays, schools, Chamber of Commerce, Facebook, MailChimp, email, each and every type of communication channels have been incorporated in this on this landing page to allow literally everyone to participate. So again, you have this is just a reiteration of what you saw earlier. Again, utility bill insert. We'll be sending out emails as well as Facebook. These are some of the different partners that we have identified. The Franklin County Chamber of Commerce, Louisburg College, the Vance Granville Community College, NAACP, Faith again, faith network organizations, Franklin County Schools and Library. So again, when we launched, we've already launched this, but we have already begun to actually capture that data. Well, once we get that critical mass, we'll be able to analyze that data and provide feedback. Here's what we're planning, that within a 12-month period, 6,000 unique visits to the landing page, 1,200 plus email subscribers, 800 plus surveys, and 60 plus volunteers over a 12-month period. Now, again, cost, as I said, the goal of this is to utilize each and every tool where there is no cost. However, it's obvious that as the process builds momentum, that we may incur cost over a period of time, but that's well down the road. So that's basically the scope of what we have planned in terms of marketing. We have the flyer. We have the one pager that's in paper form, as well as the utility bill insert. And like to end that your voice matters, visibility matters. The Louisburg Promise is a 2026 to 2031 commitment and not a one-time campaign. Promises we measure and progress we share. Thank you.
Any questions, Mr. Pius? If not, thank you. And I must say, see, this whole process was ideas that when I first became mayor over 4 years ago, these ideas were kind of somewhat in my head and on a few notes that I had. I was fortunate enough to meet Mr. Pius, and in several sessions as we talked, he was able to put those ideas on paper and in a much more formative form as you're seeing here tonight. And thank him for that. And that's my idea of Louisburg Promise, of bringing the whole town together in these 4 pillars. Recreation is very important to the citizens here who have kids. All of us know that we don't have a lot of public amenities for our youth. And we are approaching the summertime now. Kids are going to be out. They're out of school as of today. Right? And they're going to be out looking for things to do. And we want to have some type of organized thing for them to go out to. That's very important, I think. Also, to bring more businesses downtown. We've always been said that, comparing us to Franklinton this, Franklinton that. But see, Louisburg has a lot of things as well. And a big difference that you may or may not understand. See, Franklinton developed their downtown, which is great. But we have a much larger footprint. We have 3 to 4 shopping centers in addition to our downtown. All can be developed in such a way to bring in new businesses, particularly businesses, family-oriented businesses. We have the shopping centers to bring in the types of businesses that families can go and carry their kids to. You know, these Chuck E. Cheese's and things, so to speak, like that. So we have great potential here, and a good way to develop it. So the landing page is a good start, and it invites citizen participation. In order for us to be successful and excel, we need you to be involved. We need you to be interested, finding something that excites you enough to want to be a part of it. That's the Louisburg promise. Okay. Moved on. Next is the administrative report. Sorry.
Mayor, Town Council, thank you. Attached in your packet this month was the monthly executive summary related to economic development. Our second Friday Nights on the Tar will be held on Friday, June the 19th, from 6 to 9. The featured band will be Covers. And then on June the 20th, the Juneteenth event will be held from 12 to 5 in the amphitheater. Typically, they hold it on the 19th. However, because Friday Nights on the Tar is occurring on Friday, they've moved it to Saturday, but it will be held in the amphitheater again from 12 to noon on June the 20th. And staff is still working with PB Mayors on audit.
All right.
Do we have any idea when the next audit will be done? They were supposed to be shooting for the end of this month.
Right. And then with the Office of State Auditors coming in, we've had to halt that and work with them. So hopefully it will be soon. I can't give you an exact time now because it's been about 4 weeks since we've done some things, but not a lot.
Okay. Item number 12, the mayor's report. Have a little to report this time, mainly again, working with seniors, delivering senior boxes and engaging them on a monthly basis and talking about, you know, listening to them. And that's something that I always look forward to. And that's basically where most of my time went this past month. Okay. Oh, also relating to the the reimbursement from the state for the October campaign. We still haven't heard anything back from the state. However, we've moved to go on and take care of the responsibility to the Board of Elections of that expense. However, please rest assured, it is our right, it is our fiduciary responsibility to continue to press the state for reimbursement. And that is ongoing. And hopefully we will receive something or some answer from them shortly. All right. The police report. Chief.
Mayor, Council. I'm going to be extremely quick. Just wanted to touch on two things. First is longtime stable of the police department, Sergeant Andy Castaneda did retire from the police department after 18 years. We wish him luck. And we had our first DARE program graduation. Officers Mancini and Shoemate spent the last, I don't know, it was a lot of weeks. I wasn't involved. I didn't count them. Teaching 5th through 8th graders at Cross Creek Charter School on techniques and what they call resilient strategies to avoid drugs and alcohol abuse. It was about 175 kids, but they had their graduation on Friday. So congratulations to them. I don't have anything else.
Okay. Thank you, Chief. Item number 14, the fire department. Any representative from the fire? Okay, thank you. All right, item number 15, council comments. Councilman Stover.
We're going to be continuing to work on the household trash and solid waste to try and reduce the expenses that we are incurring, and hopefully in either redirect some funds to other things or result in some reductions in fees and lower tax rates as we work through this. And I'm quite excited about the Oasis project and hopefully expanding it to include areas within the town limits. Thank you.
Okay. Thank you. Councilwoman Woods.
First, I would like to thank the Louisburg Fire Department for coming out yesterday and cooking hot dogs for my fifth graders who are graduating to middle school. They cooked and they served and they helped out. So thank you all to the Louisburg Fire Department that gave the kids a tour of the fire truck and told, answered questions and just gave them a demo of the fire truck. So thank you to the Louisburg Fire Department for that. There were some happy fifth graders with hot dogs and chips and stuff. So thank you. Also, if you haven't been to the Franklin County Library in Louisburg to see their new renovation, you are missing out. I had a chance to go and take my niece, she's 3 years old, and she thoroughly enjoyed it. It is very hands-on, it's up to date, it is a very good, unique, creative space. So if you haven't been to the Louisburg Library, please go. Take your children, take your nieces, your nephews. I guarantee you that they will thoroughly enjoy it. And school is out, so watch out for the kiddos and just pray for them as they have a great summer, and pray for the teachers that we'll come back refreshed. So thank you all for coming out.
I have one amendment to my comments. It was my daughter who did all
Councilman Kingsley.
I also had the opportunity to attend the opening of the Franklin County Library, and I haven't been up there in a long time, but what I do remember, wow, it's the ADA accessibility, the range of books, the abilities for, the youth throughout, and I thought it was great. It was really fantastic. So kudos to your daughter. And also Franklin County for getting those grants in there as well. So I think we'd be remiss if we didn't recognize Miss Beverly tonight for her accomplishments with the Longleaf Pine Award and also Franklin County Your Citizen Appreciation Award as well. So as a resident of Louisburg and Franklin County, congratulations. We thank you for everything that you do, and we applaud you for just getting up and taking action. You show us, you don't tell us. So thank you.
I too attended the library as well. Councilwoman Wright.
Yes, I also attended the library and I was just, wow. She has done a great job there. And I've been singing her praises all over North Carolina and beyond. Every time I talk to somebody, I'm like, you have to go. You have to take your kids. You have to just take time to go and see. I mean, it's wonderful. It's nice. You have different areas there, the places you have for the teens, the little kids, and all the seating arrangements and everything. And she does have a sound booth where you can go in and take your personal calls and stuff from your doctor if you need to. And the computers, it's just a wonderful setting. And I thank her for that. I thank her for her parents. And also I had to help with the food bank, of course, taking to seniors. And I had the honor to, during Memorial Weekend, I honored 40 families of deceased veterans with gifts and flags.
Yep.
And I thank God for that. And also, I would like to personally thank everyone that came out or sent a check or did anything to help with the fundraiser we had for Karl and Tabor. It was a great day, a wonderful day. I'm sorry I could not be a part of it because I said I'll be there at 2 o'clock to take my spot and do things, but everything was gone by 2 o'clock. So it was a great success. But I just want to thank everybody that came out and that donated, that just gave their time, that just saw a need, and the firemen and all that was there. It was a wonderful event. And from my heart, I thank you all. And I just been relaxing at home in the cool.
Okay, thank you. Okay, to some, the best part of this meeting, a motion to adjourn. It's been moved and properly second that we adjourn. All in favor? All opposed? And for coming out as well. And